What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now, Extreme Rules is over, but things aren't cooling off as the WWE Champion defends a title against Bobby Lashley. What will happen when these two big meaty men clash in the ring, and what else can fans expect? Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Ronda Rousey is now a mom, Alexa Bliss has been written off television, Seth Rollins was disappointed with Becky Lynch, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, the business is back. Now, it's not too often that the WWE fans get a pleasant surprise, but last night on the Red brand, it delivered by bringing back the Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley's former partners in pummeling Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander returned to help him against the New Day, suggesting that they're back and badder than ever. The Hurt Business was one of 2020's best moves, and in typical WWE fashion, they were split for no reason and clearly long before they'd peaked. While we're hopeful that the group will be booked strong, we're also hoping the WWE sets up a huge match that includes the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline versus the New Day at Survivor Series. If that's not a money program, the WWE just better give up. Number 2, Shayna strikes. Badass Bella is back, with the Queen of Spades destroying another opponent this week. Shayna added Eva Marie to her victims list, and with any luck, Eva will join last week's victim Nia Jackson taking some time off television. The WWE is booking her exactly how she should be, a strong, technically proficient wrestler not only capable of hurting opponents, but eager to do so. The treatment of Baszler has been awesome, and the WWE Universe is clearly behind her babyface turn. We can't wait to see what's next in store for Baszler, as she's been wasting her time in tag team ranks, and there's always room for another main event singles performer. Number 3, Raw Extreme Rules Edition. Now, last night's Raw was more extreme than Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, with the Red brand featuring a no DQ, no countout match and a steel cage match, as compared to Extreme Rules, which, let's be fair, only had one stipulation match. Yeah, the triple threat stipulation no DQ was wasted. Last night's Raw gave the fans some exciting matches and showed how stipulation matches should be done in order to enhance an already interesting match. Number 4, Wrestling Logic. And while Logic and the WWE are rarely uttered in the same breath, it was a pleasant change to see Logic on display last night by having Drew McIntyre challenge Biggie for the WWE Championship, the underlying story being that he could challenge him now that Bobby Lashley is no longer the champion. This showed Drew's determination to get the belt back as well, and the WWE needs to think that when the match does happen, there's a reason to turn Drew heel. Number 5, Keith Bearcat Lee. Now, some of you may have actually been pointing fun at the fact that Keith Lee has now included the name Bearcat. And actually, it's all in all to pay tribute to legendary wrestler Bearcat Wright, a popular African-American star from the 50s and 60s who fought against segregation. We think that this is quite a touching tribute. Bearcat was also inducted posthumously in the WWE Hall of Fame. Number 6, 2 fantastic matches. Another night of fantastic wrestling as US Champion Damian Priest defeated Sheamus in a wild no DQ no countout match, while AJ Styles defeated Riddle in a second sensational showdown. Considering Raw's remarkable wrestling roster, there's no excuse for the WWE not putting on outstanding bouts that showcase its talent. While both matches have been seen before, all 4 competitors kept things fresh. Number 7, a rejuvenating Raw. Can you fix months, let's say years, of bad booking in 2 weeks? Well, of course not, but the WWE is definitely working on giving the fans more of what they want, and even less of what they don't want. Raw has a long way to go before it gets back on track, but it's off to a great start. Let's just hope Vince McMahon doesn't see 1 week of lackluster ratings and throw everything out. And finally, Raw was actually good. Yeah, we said it, Raw was a good show. We can't even remember the last time we'd said that. Last night's show was solid, as was last week's, and it's clear that something good is going on backstage as the WWE suddenly seems to be paying attention to the fans. But that was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, wronging Ricochet. Now, the WWE's continued bad booking of Ricochet continues to baffle ourselves and fans, as the future of Flight's future is looking downright dismal. While he isn't the first former US champion to see his career fall apart in the WWE, he's repeatedly shown he can deliver in the ring, and it's such a waste to see him chasing after the 24/7 title when he could be doing so much more. The WWE is clearly operating differently, so why not give fan favourite Ricochet another chance? Perhaps moving him to SmackDown might be the solution. And number 2, Goldberg's back. As much as Raw got things done right last night, the return of Goldberg was a sign that the WWE is still intent on using dinosaurs like Big Bad Bill at the expense of main eventers like Bobby Lashley. Yes, Goldberg and Lashley will likely square off at Crown Jewel, a show that, while huge for Saudi Arabia, is often treated as a house show by WWE in terms of its long-term impact on storylines. As we discussed in our analysis of Extreme Rules, Bobby Lashley has been losing too much, and short of Goldberg falling out due to a heat stroke, there's no way Dollar Bill isn't winning. Now, there was nothing ugly about last night's Raw, and while the show wasn't perfect, as really no show can be, well, almost, it was fun to watch from start to finish. The WWE's habit of booking wrestlers more than once in a night has worked for the past 2 weeks, but the company shouldn't make it a habit as it won't take long before it's predictable. Raw has a lot going for it, and the WWE deserves credit for hyping the championship match between Big E and Bobby Lashley on Extreme Rules and delivering the goods while also filling the show with entertaining matches and angles. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first bit of news looks at NXT sending an influx of talent to the main roster. Topping today's news is a story concerning the upcoming WWE draft and a report from Dave Meltzer that both Raw and SmackDown might be seeing a major influx of talent from NXT. Meltzer discussed this on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "Right now, NXT, there's supposed to be people drafted from NXT and to freshen up both brands. The person who said that said this could also change completely tomorrow, but they're under the impression that there'll be a lot of people from NXT. I don't want to say a lot, but many people from NXT. The NXT guys are supposed to be a significant part of it." Now, while it's often difficult to predict Mr. McMahon's moves, the fact that NXT has undergone a major revamp with a focus on younger and bigger talent suggests Vinnie Mac may want to shift some veteran talent from NXT to the main roster. Adding now, the WWE has released a number of wrestlers from the main roster, and it's clear that there's room for some fresh faces on Raw and SmackDown. What do you guys think about the WWE draft, and who would you like to get to see drafted? Next up, Alexa Bliss written off television. Is Alexa Bliss taking time off from wrestling? Well, fans who saw Charlotte Flair defeat Bliss at Extreme Rules, then destroy Bliss's demon doll Lily, wondered if Alexa's post-match meltdown was a sign that there was a new direction planned for her. Now, Raj Giri is reporting that Bliss is going to be absent from the WWE for the time being. In an exclusive for Wrestling Inc., Raj Giri reported, Alexa Bliss will reportedly be taking time off of television soon. It's not known how long Bliss will be off television, but it was told that it would be a few months. A post-match Extreme Rules interview from Charlotte adds some weight to the theory that Bliss might be dropping a creepy character. The Alexa I faced was the old Alexa. It was the Alexa I saw when she held that Raw Women's Championship multiple times. She fought me and faced me. Yes, I'm still the queen, but that's the Alexa we all want to see. I don't want to hear about Lily. Would you guys like to see Alexa Bliss continue her witchy woman persona or return to a more traditional character? What do you guys think of her taking time off? Is it needed? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Seth Rollins disappointed at Becky Lynch. Now, main eventing WrestleMania is a career dream for many wrestlers. So what happened when Seth Rollins learned his girlfriend, now wife, was main eventing the Showcase of the Immortals and he wasn't? Rollins discussed the situation in a 365 WWE documentary, saying, "I've always had that in my head that I wanted to be on the marquee at WrestleMania. I wanted to be in the match that went on last. It was so hard to balance feeling disappointed for myself and feeling so happy for her. And you can't fake it, right? She's gonna see right through that, so you can't fake that you're happy. And you can't pout to be disappointed because that's silly." Rollins defeated Brock Lesnar for the championship in the opening match at WrestleMania 35, while Becky Lynch defeated Ronda Rousey at that year's main event, the first time female competitors headlined the show of shows. But Rollins did add, "Both of our dreams were main eventing WrestleMania. That's all we ever wanted. Only one of us was going to get it here, so I just wanted her to know I was proud of her, that I loved her." Now, Seth has kind of main evented WrestleMania in WrestleMania 31, but does a cash-in really count? And finally, Ronda Rousey gives birth. And last but not least, congratulations to former WWE superstar and UFC Hall of Famer Ronda Rousey, who recently gave birth to a baby girl. Ronda had posted the news of her child's birth on Instagram as well as the little lady's name. Nah, I'm not even going to try and attempt to pronounce that name. But we wish Ronda Rousey and Travis all the best as they begin this new journey. But there you have it, guys, the good, the bad and the downright ugly from this week's Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.